You know, Luke 2 has the record of the shepherds out in their fields at night when the angels appeared and told them about the birth of the Messiah. It's an absolutely wonderful record. Luke chapter 2 verse 13 says, "Suddenly a great company of the heavenly host appeared." And I read this and I think, what in the world is the heavenly host? I mean, when I think of a host or hostess, I think about going into a restaurant and there's a nicely dressed lady there, or a nicely dressed gentleman, and they've got their arm out and they've got the towel over their arm and they're a host. And I'm thinking the heavenly host here, the heavenly host appeared. The word host is also used in the Old Testament in a lot of versions of the Bible. What does it mean, the heavenly host? Well, personally, I think it's a bad translation. Both in Greek and in Hebrew, the word means army. And when you think about it, this is God's angel army. 1/3 of the angels fell and are now in an army headed up by the devil fighting against God. And 2/3 of the angels stayed faithful to God. And what have they done for the last 4,000 years? They've fought evil. For the last 4,000 years, since Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, they have fought against evil. Absolutely. And now, the Messiah is born. The one whom God said will get rid of the evil, finally, put an end to the war. Think about soldiers in combat and how much it means to them when the war is over, when there's no more fighting, no more dying, no more sleeping in mud holes at night, no more eating MREs meal after meal. The war is over. You get to go home. You get to be with your family. Things get to be right again. Every soldier longs for that day. Every godly soldier anyway. And do you think the angels wouldn't feel great about that? The birth of the Messiah who's going to put an end to evil? Absolutely. They've been in the trenches for 4,000 years. And I can just kind of imagine, here's God, and he's like, hey, Mary's going to give birth to the Messiah here. Anybody want to go down and help announce the event? And he looks around, millions of angel hands up in the air. Oh, okay, fine. Well, no wonder it says, suddenly a great company of the heavenly army appeared with the angel praising God. And up a few verses before that, in verse 9, it says, the angel of the Lord appeared, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them. The glory of the Lord, this great, huge light. So you can kind of get the picture here. So the shepherds are out, and it's dark, nighttime. And you think about, what's the brightest thing these shepherds had ever seen? I mean, think about it. What would be the brightest thing they've ever seen? Oh, probably a bonfire. Oh, you've probably been to a bonfire. I've been to a bonfire. There's some brightness there, but they're not that bright. Frankly, I mean, one good old mercury vapor light in a parking lot, lights up that whole parking lot. Just that one little light is brighter than a bonfire. And here are the shepherds, and all of a sudden, the glory of the Lord shines round about them. They've never seen a light like this at night. And then within a few minutes after that, then the angel appears, talks to them. Then the great company of the heavenly army appears. And the heavenly army, by the way, they would appear like angels always appeared in the Bible. They aren't floating around in the air. They're standing around the hillsides around Bethlehem. The night becomes light. The hillsides are covered with the heavenly army. Sure. And what is the chorus of these angels? They say, glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men on whom his favor rests.